Hi, thanks for stopping in. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Today we're going to be talking about the fact that pretty much all of Americans' social security numbers were hacked. What a great thing to start the video with, but that's what we're going to be talking about. So, there's a hacker group that has taken responsibility for that, and they have said that we not only have Americans' social security numbers, but we have their name, their middle name. I mean, enough. They have enough information to do some real damage to Americans. Now, if you think they've done it here, of course they're going to do it or have done it in other countries. Okay. Now, how this became public was the hacker tried to sell, because everything is money, tried to sell a big portion of these numbers and tried to sell them on the black market, and that got the attention of the regulators, the government, the powers that be. Now, what does that mean? I want to just tell you, first of all, that the spirit guides are not freaked out about this. Like, they're not that freaked out about it, honestly. But I do want to talk about it because we're freaked out about it. I'm freaked out. You're freaked out about it because people have our social security numbers now. So the first thing that I would just say to you is you might want to freeze your credit. This is probably what all of us should do anyway. You can freeze your credit. It's not like you have to have access to your credit every day or even every week or every month or every year. It's uncommon, the spirit guides are saying, right? Like, you go get a new credit card is uncommon. You go to get a new car and maybe every couple of years, right? Or you get a new house years and years, right? It's not like something you do all the time. So freezing your credit will help keep it from being stolen. Now, you can go to I think there's three different credit tracking companies. And I think that you have to do it with all three companies. Now, you can hire or pay for a service like LifeLock or something like that. This isn't sponsored by anybody. This is sponsored by my spirit guides. But if you don't want to pay for it, you can freeze your credit through the credit reporting agencies. Okay. One of the credit reporting agencies says you have to pay for it, but I know you can do it for free. You just have to figure out how. Like, they want you to pay for it, but I do think the government requires them to offer it for free. So, for your own peace of mind, you might want to go ahead and just freeze your credit. You literally unfreeze it a few days before you're going to make a major purchase, and then you make your major purchase. Okay. It's just a peace of mind. Now, the fact that they've stolen like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people's identities as a whole, I don't why did the spirit guides are not upset about it? Because they're saying that this is already happening. Like, people's identity gets stolen every minute of every day. This is not new. This is already happening. Sometimes it's parents stealing the identity of their kids, or spouses stealing your identity and having credit cards put in your name or whatever. Or it's sometimes people hacking your information. Now, what the spirit guides had told me initially about this was that, obviously, not just because they stole a million social security numbers and information, a million of those people are not going to be worth utilizing. Some of those people won't have high credit scores. Some of those people won't have money. So it there's more work to be done, right? They have to research. They have to literally run all those numbers through more uh, number crunching software to figure out, okay, of this million, here's 100,000, or here's 50,000, or here's 10,000 that really have what we're looking for. Okay. So now we tell you, if you're a person who's got money in the bank, who's got a high credit score, maybe your house is paid for, or maybe you've got a nice house, you've got a nice income, you're the kind of person, especially if you're of a certain age bracket, the spirit guides are telling me, you're the person who needs to be most worried about it. So you really would want to uh, freeze your credit. Now, the guides are showing me this thing that I just saw this morning, where this person was saying online that they got a call from, I don't know, let's say it's California, the state of California, saying this is the, what is that when you have the marshal's office, and you need to call us back. Well, on the caller ID, it said US Marshal. So, of course, they called the marshal's office back. They got a secretary. Secretary put him on hold. They had music. They went to another person. That person said, "Oh, let me check." Okay, hold on. I have to transfer you again. All this was building trust, right? And so when they finally got to somebody, somebody said, "Well, you didn't show up for jury duty, and now you have to pay a fine, or, you're going to face jail time." Which, sounded a little hinky to this person, but they were like, "Well, I don't really know what the rules are. And it said US Marshal, so I'm sure this is all legit, right?" So then they were going along with it. I mean, they were believing it until the fine was like $4,500, and you had to drop it off in cash at a separate location before you go to the marshal's office, right? That's when this person was like, "Okay, this is a scam." But the thing that was so surprising to them was they knew his wife's name, her first, middle, last name. They knew where she worked. They knew her occupation. They knew that she had been called to jury duty in the last time period. Okay? That's what I'm saying. That's when it gets scary. The fact that they have your social security number is one data point. When they know this much stuff about you, that you've got a bank account, that you've got money, that that all the indications are that you really could pay $4,500 to stay out of jail. They literally mined into this couple and found out what this couple had. So just because your social security number's out there in the universe, online, being sold or hacked or whatever, it's not it's not in and of itself worth a lot of money. Okay? Now, having said that, where I feel like this is worth money is in identity, is in getting social security cards to people that shouldn't have a social security card. It could be even sold to people in other countries to get passports. To me, the threat is also in access to the United States of America, access to getting a visa, or whatever, getting even a passport, whatever that is, or even a social security card. So that's the problem. Now, so you freeze your credit is what the guides are saying. Pretty much what you have available to you is to freeze your credit. Number one. Number two, not to be taken in by this stuff, because the level of sophistication is getting so much bigger. Like this, somehow they got US Marshal's office to show up on the caller ID. I mean, come on, right? uh, I don't know how they did it. I'm just saying the level of sophistication is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you have to be careful. You have to use your discernment. Just because they hacked the social security numbers is not the biggest thing here. The biggest thing here is that we are all being targeted, and we have to be very careful about these things, about everything, about any kind of law enforcement. You almost need to hang up the phone, write the phone number down, go to Google, look up the phone number, call the agency and talk to somebody, right? Like, don't ever trust an incoming call. Hang up, look up the website, look up the phone number, call the company, whether it's the IRS, whether it's your state, whatever it is, call them directly. Now, the other reason why I'm doing this video is because I want to talk about the future, because this is going to impact really President Harris, right? Like, so she's going to be our president. This is really going to impact her because this is a big deal in 2025, 26, 27, and 28. And also it's a big deal as far as You know what? That is so crazy. I did a video called Cyber Attack or something. You guys should really watch that. They're saying I don't think it got the most views. You guys really should pay attention to this stuff. But anyway, um, what I just saw was they can take your name, your address, and perhaps even the last four digits of your social, and they can find out like your electricity company. Okay. Then they hack into your account and they hold your account ransom. So somehow they're going to increase the ransom attacks on everyday citizens, right? Like we're going to turn your electricity off because we can. We have your account. You don't have your account, we have your account. And we're going to turn your electricity off and unless you pay us $500 or $5,000 depending on your bracket of income, you're not going to get it back on again. So this is why I'm doing this video because Harris is going to get in there and she's going to we're going to have to shore up our social security numbers. They're outdated. They're antiquated is what the spirit guides are saying. That system is antiquated. It's not going to work. So I feel like within 4 years, which to me, if you understand what I'm saying, like this is like saying the impossible in 4 years, but this is what they're saying. We're going to have iris scanners in our phones in 4 years. And if you can't afford a phone, you will be given an iris scanner because you're going to need an iris, your eyeball. They're going to scan your eyeball. If you want to log into your bank, you're going to scan your eyeball. If you want to log into school, guess what you're going to scan? Forget numbers. This is human. If your human eyeball is on that thing, then you get access. So now people that are in some other country or some other city cannot hack you unless they have your eyeball. They would have to literally break into your home, smash your head against the thing to get it to work, right? So and then I also feel like there's a voice, there's eyeball, but also a voice. There's multiple point. You know who's might be spearheading this is what's his name? Buddha Judge. Buddha Judge might be spearheading this in some way. I know he's Secretary of Transportation right now. That doesn't mean he's going to be Secretary of Transportation in 2 years or 3 years. Because I'm telling you, this is going to be a crisis. We are going to get to a crisis point. That's why I did that video on cyber attacks because so yeah, they're holding your electricity hostage. Okay. But what we don't ever hear about, and I know that it's out there because you can Google it and you can find it, but it's not being talked about in the mainstream news, is hospitals are being cyber attacked all the time. All of a sudden, you can't do that surgery because all of your equipment is down. Because guess what? Somebody's hacked into your system. You either pay them the money or you're out of business. Well, guess what? If you're a hospital, you're going to pay the money like right now because you've got people on life support machines. Now, I know the FBI is involved in this, and I know sometimes the FBI is able to get involved and like before the money gets to the destination, the FBI follows the money to the destination and is able to do something. But the problem is the destination is many times in another country. And some of these countries don't give a darn about laws or don't give a darn about the United States. So I think the guides are talking about 5 eyes. That's 10. Maybe we're going to have 10 now. I don't know. 5 Eyes is the spy service that's 5 different countries that have 5 different eyes that sort of watch each other. Think about NATO, how NATO protects each other. If one is attacked, we're all attacked. Well, 5 Eyes shares information internationally. So what I'm seeing is maybe it's 10, right? Maybe, but in this way, the countries are going to come together more and more and more. the spirit guides have been talking about this anyway in regards to Ukraine. They said NATO would grow. It is growing. It already has grown. They said NATO would become very big, a very well positioned, but very well armed, strong. NATO will be strong. You're not going to be messing with these countries. And more countries are going to go into NATO. So, in that way, you're going to see more and more countries go into this financial kind of protection group. So, okay, if you have one country who's like a bad actor and they have a lot of scammers there, then guess what? You're going to have more control over that one rogue country because so many countries are together, bound together, that one country is going to need something from one of these countries that are in a pact, and they're not going to get it. You need gas, you're not going to get it. You need gasoline, petrol, you're not going to get it. You need heating oil, you're not going to get it. You want people to come in and invest in your country, you're not going to get it because all of these countries have band together and we know you're a bad actor. So in that way, they're going to be shunned. Now, it's the best we can do is what the spirit guides are saying, because what I just saw when I said now, I saw, well, they're going to be making a lot of money, right? Like they're scamming us. They're getting all this money from us, right? So they could make enough money that they don't care about being shunned. They can work with other bad actor countries to support each other. But it's bringing the world together. It's interesting, isn't it? Because in some ways, the United States is kind of splintering a little bit, but conversely, the world is coming together because we know we have to be together. We're stronger together. We can protect each other. We're stronger as one unit than we are, divide and conquer is what the spirit guides are saying. So these are the changes I see. And I think in 4 years, you're going to have, and this is way before 4 years. 4 years it's mainstream. But even before 4 years, I mean, right now you use your thumb or your finger to turn your phone on. There's iris scanning is already used in a lot of phones or different things. This is going to be the norm. That's the difference. Yes, these things are being used now, but they're really kind of not very often. But this is going to be the norm. We're not going to use the Social Security number. The Social Security number is going to they might they're telling me there is some kind of group that says we can add 5 digits to the Social Security number, or we can add a character or something. But that's really just, I don't know, that's not solving the problem. They're just going to hack that. You know what I mean? It's not solving the problem. It's silly. It's like, this is how Harrison Walls, they don't think like that. They think big. They're like, why would we do this little thing when we could do the big thing? They're big thinkers. They're big picture thinkers. They're big problem solvers. Okay? So this level of security is also going to be in schools. So I don't know why, for the love of God, we don't have metal detectors on schools. I don't know why. I know, hey, if you live in a certain type of school, there's a metal detector. Why we don't have metal detectors on all schools? So I'm just saying that I see this iris detector being used even in schools. Like, if you're not supposed to be there, you're not going to be there. We're not going to just count on the fact that, you know, you wouldn't go in a place you're not supposed to be. We're not going to count on your good graces. We're going to actually create very secure. Everything is going to be more secure. This is what I see with Harris Walls. Everything is going to be more secure. If you don't have any reason to be in that building, you're not going to be in that building, whether it's a school, whether it's a hospital, whether it's a commercial building, for sure, a courtroom, or any sort of government building. Things are just, we're just going to get, she's the law and order president. That's what she is. So she's going to be cracking down on these things, and she's going to be using a much bigger viewpoint to crack down on them, which I find refreshing and hopeful. So if you've enjoyed this video and you haven't subscribed, be my guest. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button. If you think somebody might enjoy this video, go ahead and hit the share button and share it. If you have a comment, I would love to hear your comment. Go ahead and leave me a comment, okay? I do not do readings. Talk about impersonation and fraud. I do not offer readings. If someone contacts you and says, "Hey, I'm Susan and I want to give you a reading," or "I have an angel message for you," it's not me. It's not me. I don't do readings. Again, always go to the original website, check with the original person before you believe something, okay? I do have an online community that's really fun, really vibrant, and full of people that support each other, that chat every day. It's literally a city. It's like a community where you can go and talk to your friends and visit and get support. That's $12 a month. You can check it out on my website. That is real, and I am there 3.5 to 4 hours a month interacting with you. So even though I don't do readings, I am interacting and doing mini readings and different events and things with my members. So if you get contacted, any other way than seeing my face and seeing these words come out of my mouth, it's not me. Okay. The last thing I'll just say really briefly is I have an in-person event in October. It sold out not once, but twice. And because it sold out twice, I'm throwing in 20 more tickets for anybody who didn't hear about the event, because honestly, I've only mentioned it on YouTube one time because my members bought most of the tickets, and then my newsletter subscribers, my past clients, bought the rest of the tickets. So I'm throwing 20 more tickets in because I know that we have so many viewers here that enjoy this work, that enjoy working with me, and you might want to know more about it. You can check it out on my website, SusanLynnMedium.com. You just go there and you click on Connect to Empower. It's in Denver. It's in October, and it's going to be amazing. I've got 4 other wonderful psychic healer people joining me. We're going to be teaching you. We're going to be elevating you. You are going to be transformed. So check it out if you're interested, and know that this is my soul path, and I will be doing events next year as well. This is my 2nd annual for Connect to Empower. Last year we did it in Chicago, and it was a blast, and it sold out as well. I'm just trying to listen to my spirit guides. They said, throw 20 more tickets on, mention it on YouTube. If anybody's interested, there's 20 more tickets. You can check it out for yourself. SusanLynnMedium.com. Take really good care of yourselves. Lock up your credit. Don't be a victim. Be discerning. And we'll see you again real soon right here on this channel. For entertainment purposes only.